Hi, so this is going to be a lesson on Josh White's song called Southern Exposure, which again is just part of this series which seems relevant today, discussing the issues of racism, especially in the United States. So the tuning for this song is standard tuning, but it's kind of a weird pitch of standard tuning. It's starting with a low string of D, but that D is tuned up about a quarter step to get what he's got on the recording. So what I would suggest is to just copy the string tones the string pitches that I've got here. And this will get you pretty close to what he's got on the recording. So what I'll do is just go through the chord progression that Josh White plays, and then after that get into some of the ideas behind the single note lines that he plays during the song as well. So this song, as you can see, has a certain type of strumming pattern that is taken care of by the right hand. And from there, it's really just a chord progression with your fretting hand. So what I'll do is just go through the chords and then go through the right hand strumming technique from there. So it starts out with this chord, common fingerstyle chord. Got the bass note on the 6th string, 2nd fret of the 4th string, 1st fret of the 3rd, omitting the 5th string. So you got the 6th string and top 4 strings. Top 2 strings open. I'll just go through the strumming pattern now. So it's thumb on the 6th string, then you kind of hit your thumb through the 4th string. Then what you can do is sweep up on the top 4 strings. And then gently hit the 6th string again. So you kind of go all the way down and all the way back up. All the way up and all the way back down, depending on how you look at it. And you just kind of want to get that as smooth as you can. Not that I've got it particularly smooth, but if you do want to kind of get the sound that Josh White's got, it's almost like a harp. It doesn't have to be that loud. But that's really the strumming pattern on the right side. So basically you want to find the root note and then the alternating note, as if you're playing alternating bass, that your thumb will then hit next. And then from there it's just treble side with a sweep of your finger and returning to that root note. Alright, so it starts out with this chord and then it goes to this, which is a D flat 7, if you want it to be very technical about it. But it's the 4th fret of the 5th string, 3rd fret of the 4th string, 4th fret of the 3rd string, and 2nd fret of the 2nd string. As you can see by this triangle shape, usually that indicates a dominant 7th shape. D7 up here. you'll hit thumb on the 5th string, that's your root note. The 4th string is your kind of alternating bass note. Sweeping up on the 2nd string, and returning to the 5th string. So you got. Then you come down to this chord, F sharp major. So what you can do is come over with your thumb and fret the 2nd fret of the 6th string. Then on the treble side, what you've got, 4th fret of the 4th string, 3rd fret of the 3rd string, and then a bar across the top 2 strings, 2nd fret. Coming over with your thumb. By fretting it in this weird way, the nice thing is that, see this chord shape? Just notice how little the hand has to move. See that? Hardly any kind of move. So it's very efficient to play this bar chord like this, rather than like this. See, this is a very inefficient motion. So that's why you want to come over with your thumb. Similar idea, very similar to this first chord. Bass note on the 6th string, alternating note on the 4th string, sweep up on the treble side, and return to the 6th string. So you got. Then you've got this chord here, 2nd fret of the 5th string, 1st fret of the 4th string, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, top 2 strings open. I know this is a lot of note calling out, but you'll see that most of these chords repeat, so this should be nearing the end of it all. Now in this case, since this chord starts on the 5th string, your bass note will be on the 5th string, alternating note will be on the 4th string, so you'll go thumb, 5th string, then thumb through the 4th string, treble side strings, returning to the 5th string. So you've got this so far. And you just return here. Now what Josh White does is he plays kind of a single note line. Just does a slight bend on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. Open 2nd string. 2nd fret of the 3rd string. 2nd fret of the 4th string. 4th fret of the 5th string. Slight bend on the 5th fret of the 4th string. And he just kind of plays around with the 5th fret of the 4th string and the 2nd fret. And then he returns to this 5 chord that was played earlier. Alright, so far it's so that's kind of the first chunk. The second chunk goes like this. It's the exact same as the first chunk, but each chord gets 2 bars. So you play each chord twice as long. You go here, and you play it again. And 5, this chord again. You play it again. Back here, and I can play it again. So it's really the exact same thing. Now, when you enter the 5 chord, you'll also play this arpeggio. That's really just 2nd fret of the 6th string. the 5th string, 1st fret of the 4th string, 4th fret, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, 2nd string open, and you just play the chord. The moment it plays, you'll play the 2nd string open. That's when I kind of plant the chord. Because it kind of buys you time right in this moment to be like, okay, I'm going to set the chord, now I'll strum. Alright, so far, first chunk, everything only gets one bar, single note line. Second chunk, everything just is twice as long. And I can strum it by just pulling the 2nd string up, and then we're going to the 5th string. Now here's the C section, you might say. A section, B section, C section. This will lead into the 4 chord. You'll go. And then 4 chord. Like that. Now the way this goes is just this first chord. Playing it twice. Same chord as before. Then, what you play twice is this same chord, but you add in the 3rd fret of the 2nd string to create a dominant chord. So 2 of these, then 2 of these with the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Like that. Then you'll go here, new chord, 4th fret of the 5th string. Then a bar across the top 4 strings, 2nd fret. But you'll only use the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings. You can leave that out. Bass note on the 5th string. Alternating note on the 4th string. Sweep up on the 2nd string. Return to the 4th string. You can just play this twice. Here, 3rd fret of the 5th string, 2nd frets of the 4th and 3rd strings. Then what makes this chord so weird to fret is you've got the 1st fret of the 2nd string, which kind of shifts your hand around. So that's a transition to kind of work on. Alright, but that's the C section, and now it's just the A section again. So you'll go 1 chord each, 1 bar each, or 1 strum each, I should say. So it's A section, B section, C section, A section. Alright? So that's really the song. You got A section, 1 bar each, single note line, B section twice, 2, and then arpeggio, C section, add in the pinky, this chord, weird chord, then back to the A section. Next, to kind of cap off the chorus, sometimes what they'll do is this cool lick. similar to what Pig Leg Howley uses on songs like Fairy Blues and Low Down Rounders Blues, but it's a series of double stops, which kind of cascade down. And it starts out, first fret of the third string, top string open. That's the first double stop. Second double stop is the second and fourth strings open. And you return to the first one. Next double stop, second fret of the third string, fourth frets of the fifth string. Then you return to the second and fourth strings open. Finally, you'll play the second fret of the fifth string, fifth frets of the fourth string. You can do a slight bend on that fifth fret of the fourth string. Then you'll kind of land on the second fret of the fourth string. And you can kind of toggle that with the fourth fret of the fifth string. So you got, notice that you can hold a lot of the initial double stops while you're playing the subsequent double stops, which allows the notes to ring out. Notice that, no movement. Here again, no movement. So they kind of sound like bells. And then you've got that. And you can kind of end it with a 5 chord and then begin the new chorus. Alright, so my camera's been a little bit weird in terms of file saving and whatnot, so I'm just going to pause it, then start into what he plays in his single note lines. Now when it comes to the single note lines which Josh White plays on this song, he really just kind of outlines the melody. So he'll go, that's not exactly what he plays, but it's that kind of idea. And so this isn't really meant to be about improvising or anything like that, but it is nice to have learned the chords first of this song, to be able to then play these lines. So you can do things to start out just in this major scale. He kind of uses a pentatonic scale to start out with. Kind of like that. You can do that. And then he'll go. And kind of use the chords. Double stops, second frets of the third and first strings, then moved up to the fourth fret. Then you can do things like this. When you're entering into the 4 chord, you can start by playing. You can actually play the 5 chord on the 7th fret, this minor pentatonic. You can actually go minor pentatonic, which doesn't sound like it, but then you can go into the 4 chord, major pentatonic, so you can go then you can go minor pentatonic, just because that's how the chord progression goes, but I know this probably sounds all like gibberish. Then here's a cool move you can use to end the song. So this is towards the moment in the chord progression when it's like this. I know in this, talking about this single note lines he plays, I haven't really mentioned anything maybe that actionable. But you can go like this. When you're entering in the 4 chord, you can go minor pentatonic off the 7th fret. You can go here, you can go. Then for here, you can go off the 5th fret again. I'm kind of repeating myself, but so sorry about that. But then you can go 5th fret. You can go major scale. Got the minor. Then you got the major. Switch to the minor. Now, here's the interesting thing, you can play. That's a very cool, useful thing to know. That works as a turnaround. And what those are chord substitutions, which sounds kind of off-putting and scary, but you can go play a minor pentatonic off of the 4th fret, then just play the same thing but off the 3rd fret, then off the 2nd fret, then just go back. Now, not played together, that sounds very weird, but let me show you how this works. So you can go entering into the 4 chord, that's all I did. Minor pentatonic off the 4th fret, then off the 3rd fret, then off the 2nd fret, then just kind of playing the 5 chord, returning. So let me play that again. It's all just minor pentatonic. 4 chord, minor, one full chord. Um, I hope that kind of helps with giving some ideas for playing the single note line to Southern Exposure. But overall, it's kind of tougher, I think, to describe the, since it's not really any kind of set playing on these sorts of parts, so it's more just kind of feeling it out for yourself, I would say. But yeah, so that's hopefully at least the chord progression earlier in the lesson provides something very actionable, and it's kind of an interesting song because it's based off of Careless Love, so it's got that same chord progression and melody, which is nice. So yeah, I hope that helps with Southern Exposure, and yeah, so I know we're still seeing a lot of protests everywhere and whatnot. So yeah, hopefully this song kind of keeps to that and staying relevant. So thank you very much for watching, and see you later.